here at the Soo Locks.
Queen of the Lakes for being the largest breeder of snail on the Great Lakes. Falls a staggering 1,013 or steel pellet here. What are those stuff you think pile up?
Oh, yeah, like make like oh, look, it's opening.
Which way? That one? Oh. Up to a big wheel. I heard it down here just a little. There's so many people on there. all the change I have, an hour and 18. You can put it in the that's a beach one. But maybe I don't know if they're going to be fly or shad fly. I don't know if it's a beach fly. Use your hair back.
I'm now in downtown Sault Ste.Marie. This is City Hall here in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Tower of History. On top of the Tower of History now, here in downtown Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And that's the Soo Locks to the immediate right. This is Sault Ste. Marie City Hall. Good old Portage Avenue. That, of course, is Canada on the other side of the water. And this that's a Soo Locks boat tour going out. That's what I'll be doing in about an hour from now. And the Tower of History elevator going back down to ground.
And Captain John as well. On the lower deck, our senior engineer is Andy. Andy will also help you this afternoon with all your refreshment needs at the snack bar. And that is the shoreline of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada ahead of us. Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario has a population of around 73,000 people, where the population of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan is only around 14,000. We will be sailing on the St. Mary's River, all of this 10-mile tour. The river is approximately 61 miles in length. It is the connecting waterway between Lake Superior, which is still behind us, 17 miles, to Lake Huron, which is downstream ahead of us, still 46 miles. Tied to the pier on our left now is the PML 2501. This is a tanker barge. It's used to haul benzene and coal tar, which are byproducts of the coke making process back at the steel plant. These byproducts, unfortunately, are used in fertilizer as well as the cosmetic industry. Right after the coast of the water for inspection and to make any necessary repairs and maintenance. The Coast Guard requires a haul inspection of about 5 years. We use the dry dock lowered into the river by opening large valves to allow the water to flow into the hull to raise the dry dock without Coming up now on our left, the Longstone building is the Cloverland Hydroelectric Power Plant, and yes, it's still active. It was completed in 1902 and it cost us $6 million. The plant is a quarter of a mile in length. That makes it the longest horizontal power plant in the world. With 74 turbines, it can produce up to 40 megawatts of electrical power. There's a 2.25-mile long power canal which begins at the upper end of the American line. It winds through the city, meeting up with the power plant on the opposite side, and making an island out of the downtown business district. The building was constructed out of red sandstone banners during the digging of the canal, which is on the opposite side of the building. The tower was built in 1968. It stands 210 feet high and contains 5 observation platforms, which enables visitors to see in all directions. The tower was built as a memorial to the first French missionaries who arrived here over 350 years ago. Steamship Valley Camp, built in 1917 and retired in 1966. Formerly owned by the Republic Steel Corporation, the Valley Camp is now a marine museum. Contained in the display area of the cargo hold are 4 1,200-gallon aquariums stocked with fish native to the Great Lakes, and the recovered lifeboat of the freighter Edmund Fitzgerald. The Edmund Fitzgerald sank during a severe storm on November 10th of 1975. All 29 crew members aboard lost their lives that night as the ship sank. 530 feet turbine resting place at the bottom of Lake Superior. The light-colored houses were the homes of Henry Brooks Schoolcraft and John Johnston. Johnston's home, constructed in 1796, is the second oldest home in Michigan. The red house next to the Schoolcraft home was the home of missionary Frederick Barragan. He spoke 7 languages, including the native language Ottawa, and in 1853 became the first Catholic bishop of the Upper Peninsula. The green and red harbor sites here on the water are owned and operated by Great Lakes Towing Company, and these are used to assist ocean-going vessels in their approaches to the lock. Within the next 6 to 10 years, these 2 locks should be removed and Soo Lock, the same as the second lock, and I'll give an invention a little bit. that will be replacing these two locks. Right now they're dredging and working on the walls. The Soo Locks were constructed to bypass the rapids, which were formed by the 21-foot difference in land elevation between Lake Superior and Lake Huron. When the French explorers arrived here in the early 1600s, the rapids were twice their present width and extended over to where the second lock is on the American side. Lock and power canal construction narrowed the rapids. On our left now, the large white tent-like structure is the Roberta Bondar Pavilion. It's used for concerts and other community events, including outdoor festivals. The pavilion is part of a park which includes an extended walkway along the river shoreline. The red brick and glass building beyond it is the Roberta Bondar Place. It houses many offices and once included the provincial headquarters for the Ontario Lottery. Naval ships from the Atlantic Fleet. They docked on the American side ahead of us, and they were escorted on a barge over to the park. The lock is 800 feet long, 80 feet wide, and 31 feet deep here at the lower level. 10 million gallons of water are needed to raise the vessel to the Lake Superior level in this lock. This will be the lock we use this afternoon in our upbound transit. The second lock over is the Poe, named in honor of Civil War General Orlando M. Poe of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. This lock was opened to vessel traffic in 1969. The lock is 1,200 feet long, 110 feet wide, and 32 feet deep here at the lower level. 22 million gallons of water are needed to raise the vessel to the Lake Superior level of the second lock, coming up and down the Ste.Marie's River. Now in that first building, you can see the tower. This is where he sits. He can see clearly upriver about 20 miles and downriver. The smaller building between Lock 2 and 3 is the Marine Post Office and reporting room. All vessels passing through the locks are required to hand in a written report on the amount and type of cargo as well as any passengers on board. And this all includes pleasure boats, including us. From 1855 to 1881, the toll to pass through the American locks was 3 to 4 cents per ton. Second set of gates are the main gates, and the third set of gates are the auxiliary gates. Once inside, the gates will be closed behind us and the safety boom will be lowered. The safety booms were installed to protect the gates of the lock. There's a large steel cable on the underside of each safety boom. When the gates are closed, the safety booms are normally lowered and locked into place. We're about to enter the first American lock of MacArthur. Once again, no toll is charged to any ship of any nationality using the American locks. The Soo Locks are in operation from late March until the middle of January. At the close of the navigation season in January, the locks are drained, inspected for damage, repaired and left dry until spring. Winter maintenance includes boat pier and equipment repairs. The Soo Locks has a workforce of approximately 120 people. They are responsible for operating the lock, the U.S. power plant, and for dredging the navigation channel of the St. Mary's River. There's usually 1 to 5 feet of ice on the river. On the Lake Superior River or lake, and on Lake Huron as well. In the spring of the year, the United States icebreaker Mackinac and smaller icebreaker tugs like the Katmai Bay brake paths through the ice to navigation can once again get underway. The freighters are often convoyed through the ice fields by the icebreakers.
I'll sit back there.
You know what, when you get out of here.
Mom's off the charge. Yeah, it's kind of voices. Yeah, well, they used to call the house back in the day with the phone lines and stuff. It's this is her.
She sounded like a kid.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it was, let's call it free flighting level work. Yeah, I know nothing is that, but.
Well, I guess it really does promote commerce. Really? Oh, right. You don't charge. Yeah. I mean, you gotta get these, you gotta get this iron ore back and forth, and we don't build cars. Exactly.
Expressed a concern about the water coming through the center seal and the gates up in front of us. And we just like to remind folks that this is a government operation, and as you know, there's always leaks.
Aaron, turn around. I want to get a picture. I want to do that, but I want to plan. We're just newly retired, and I just want to plan it.
Do that one late July, early August. That's your best time, weather-wise, and everything else wise.
Each year, many ocean vessels from countries all over the world pass through the Soo Locks. The principal cargo taken from Lake Superior ports by ocean vessels. And the water on the other side of the gates ahead of us is about 3 feet from the top of the gate. 21 feet higher than the water level we entered in on, extending the full length of the lock. And beyond the gates at both ends are large tunnels with large valves located inside each end. The tunnels run under the floor of the lock. To raise us from the Lake Huron level behind us to the Lake Superior level ahead of us, the filling valves ahead of us will now be opened. This will allow the higher water on the other side of the gate to flow under the gate, through the tunnels and up into the lock, through the openings in the lock floor. The emptying valves inside the ends of the tunnel behind us are now closed, so that the Lake Superior water entering under the gates ahead of us cannot escape. The flow of water into the lock is all by gravity. No pumps are required. Once the water level in the lock reaches the same level as the water on the other side of the gates up ahead of us, the gates will be opened and we will continue with our tour. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to fill the lock, unless there's a freighter coming in ahead of us, and it'll take about 10 minutes more. The only power required to operate the lock is the power to operate the gate, the valves, and the safety boat. The water is flowing into the lock at a rate of 1.5 million gallons per minute. We're now on the Lake Superior level, and the gates ahead of us are opening. In just a minute, the safety boom will be raised, and we will soon leave the lock to continue on our 10 miles crews passing under the International Highway Bridge and Railroad Bridge. We're now in the upper St. Mary's River, and it is still 16 miles ahead of us to Lake Superior. Lake Superior has the greatest surface area of any freshwater lake in the world at 31,700 square miles. Lake Superior contains 2,900 cubic miles of water. Or to put it simply, there's enough water in Lake Superior to cover the entire landmass of North and South America to a depth of 12 inches.
That's la pequeña. Sí. Es una papa.
When you watch the news up here, they have a camera up on Carl's museum, and it shows, like they'll show a clip from what things look like from Carl's. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's on the small side for a German Shepherd, but a good sized dog.
Yeah. Yeah, our last one was golden.
Oh my God, that's big.
He was short though. He was the front of his litter. Yeah, he was a loving passive. He was a
Put your feet up on him. We had
and all the women liked it. And he was like this. He was out the window.
We're going to do the Valley Camp.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then we'll get on the road and just doing a day trip with these guys. They're up for a week.
Good.
Yeah, and I think that you guys liked it, right? You know you're outside, you don't have to have that on. She's very conscientious. It was a good experience. Oh, the copper feeds a 4-hour ferry ride. Sometimes under some rough conditions.
Oh, I bet.
And not always, because the times you've never seen in your life. I mean, I can't even begin. Just gorgeous beyond measure. And they have water taxis that go around the islands. My grandfather used to say to my grandmother, stop that your
Well, it was funny when my grandmother was little. They would have Polish. My grandfather and we would answer that they would have to interpret.
We're not back down on the Lake Huron level. The lower gates of the MacArthur Lock are getting to open ahead of us now.
Are you getting tired?
Approximately 10 million gallons of water were emptied from the lock, lowering us back down 21 feet to the lower Ste.Marie's River and to the Lake Huron water level. From here, it's 45 miles yet downstream ahead of us to Lake Huron.
Nice. Yeah, we take them camping.
Yeah. My wife doesn't usually do it. I don't. I could probably do it with him.
That one was not as bad.
Just keep living.
Tour here this afternoon, as we'll be landing back into dock in just a few moments. Before you leave your seats, please take some time to look around. Make sure that you do not leave any of your personal effects with us. Thank you very much for sailing with us today at Soo Lock's Boat Tours. We wish you a very pleasant, safe vacation. We'd like to see you back again some other day. Please watch your head and your step as you are getting off the boat. Now, in the past, some of our passengers have inquired about leaving tips or gratuities for the crew. If you are one who feels so inclined, a container for that purpose is placed on the table to the right as you are exiting the boat. On behalf of Soo Lock's Boat Tours and the crew of the Nokomis, folks, thanks a lot for riding with us here today. We certainly hope you've enjoyed your boat ride to the world-famous Soo Locks and the Soo Harbor. We're going to be docking up here right shortly, and again, we remind you to please watch your step as you're getting off the boat. And do have a super safe summer vacation.